Today, we're diving into one of the most explosive, non-stop days in the life of Jesus, all packed into a single chapter, John chapter 8. And trust me, this isn't just a collection of teachings. It's a high-stakes drama from start to finish, with a climax that literally shatters reality.
What's wild is that all of this unfolds in pretty much one location, over just a few hours. It kicks off with a woman's life hanging in the balance, and then it escalates into this fierce battle of wits, and it all crescendos with a single statement so huge, so reality-bending, that the only possible responses are total belief or picking up a rock to kill him. So let's get right into it.
All right, so the day doesn't start with a nice, quiet sermon. It starts with a physical, life-or-death showdown. The tension is immediate. You can almost feel the dust in the air and the cold weight of stones in people's hands.
So picture this. It's early morning, the sun is just starting to light up the temple courtyard. Jesus is teaching, people are gathered around, and there's this calm, focused vibe. And then, bam! That piece is just shattered. A gang of scribes and Pharisees, the religious police basically, they burst through the crowd. And they are dragging a woman, and I mean dragging her. They throw her down in the dirt right in front of everyone. The crowd instantly backs away, forming this grim circle. The trap has just been sprung.
This is just a brilliant, diabolical trap. They've got him completely cornered. Think about it. If he says, no, don't stone her, he's openly defying the sacred law of Moses. His credibility is shot. But if he says, yeah, go ahead, stone her, he's not only violating Roman law, which didn't let them carry out executions, but he's also betraying his entire message of mercy and forgiveness. It's a perfect no-win situation, or so they think.
So now this agonizing silence just falls over the whole courtyard. The accusers are standing there, stones in hand, probably smirking, just waiting for him to squirm. The crowd is barely breathing. And what does Jesus do? He does the last thing anyone expects. He just bends down and starts writing in the dust with his finger. The suspense must have been absolutely unbearable. He's totally ignoring them, making everyone wait, and turning their whole dramatic trap into this awkward, silent moment.
And then finally, he stands up. He looks them all in the eye and delivers this simple, devastating line. And then he just bends back down and keeps writing. Can you just imagine the sound? The first heavy thud as the oldest, most respected guy in the group lets his stone drop to the pavement. Then another, and another. In one sentence, Jesus flipped the spotlight of judgment off the woman and right back onto every single man holding a rock. One by one, convicted by their own conscience, they just leave.
Jesus stands up again, and it's just him and the woman in this big empty space. He doesn't pretend she did nothing wrong. He acknowledges it. But instead of condemnation, he offers her release. Instead of a death sentence, he offers a fresh start. The physical threat is gone, but the day's confrontations, they've only just begun.
Okay, so the crowd is still buzzing from what they just witnessed, and Jesus immediately pivots from this incredible act of mercy to a massive declaration of his identity. This kicks off a totally different kind of fight, not with stones, but with words and ideas.
Just seconds after saving a woman from darkness and death, Jesus makes this unbelievable claim. He doesn't say he's a light or a nice guide. He says he is the light for the whole world. It's a claim of absolute, ultimate authority. And you can bet the Pharisees who are still hanging around are not about to just let that slide.
And right on cue, they jump on him with a legal technicality. Objection, you can't be your own witness, your testimony is worthless. But Jesus' answer just cuts right through all that. He basically says, look, my testimony works differently because I know things you don't. I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. You're judging by human standards, but my judgment comes from a source you can't even comprehend. Then he does something amazing. He uses their own rules against them. He says, your law says you need the testimony of 2 people to prove something, right? Fine. Then he lays out his 2 witnesses. Witness number 1, himself. Witness number 2, the Father who sent him. He's claiming that the God of the universe is his second witness, co-signing everything he says. So of course, they fire back with a sarcastic, oh yeah? So where is this Father of yours? And Jesus' answer draws this massive line in the sand. He tells them they are from beneath, part of this world, this way of thinking. But he is from above. You can just picture this clear dividing line. He's telling them they are operating on 2 completely different planes of reality.
At this point, the leaders are just getting more and more frustrated. They're like, just give us a straight answer. Who are you? And Jesus basically says he's been telling them all along. But here's the fascinating part. While the so-called experts are totally lost, his words about his connection to the Father are so powerful that the text says many in the crowd, they actually started to believe him.
So you've got this new flicker of belief in the crowd, right? And this leads straight into the next round of debate. Jesus turns to these brand new believers and makes them an incredible offer. But it's an offer that challenges the very core of who they think they are.
He offers them truth, and through that truth, freedom. Now, for people living under Roman occupation, that word, freedom, is huge. It's electric. But Jesus isn't talking about political freedom, and that misunderstanding is about to light the next fire.
You can just hear the outrage in their response. Slaves? Excuse me? We're descendants of Abraham. We have never been slaves to anyone. Now, historically, that's just not true. They'd been under Egypt, Babylon, and now Rome. But they're talking about their spiritual identity. They see themselves as born free, and they are deeply insulted that he's suggesting they need to be set free from something.
So Jesus just completely redefines the whole conversation. He tells them, forget about physical chains. The real slavery, the deep slavery, is being a slave to sin. Imagine people who look perfectly free on the outside but are being dragged down by invisible chains. And then he drops this cryptic line, I'm talking about what my Father says, but you're doing the deeds of your father.
And he just dismantles their whole argument, piece by piece. They claim Abraham is their father, but Jesus presents the evidence. You want to kill me for telling you the truth I heard from God. Then he points out the contradiction. That's not something Abraham would ever do, which leads to his devastating conclusion. Even if you're related by blood, your actions show you're following a totally different father's example.
And this is where the conversation takes its darkest turn. The hints are over. Jesus looks these religious leaders right in the eye, in their own temple, and says it plainly. You are of your father, the devil. He accuses them of being the spiritual children of the ultimate source of lies and murder. The debate is over. This is a direct shot at their very soul.
You can imagine the absolute shock and fury in the crowd. This accusation pushes everything to the brink and brings us to the final explosive climax. The fight moves beyond heritage and identity into a claim about existence itself before time even began. At this point, any real debate is completely gone. It's just mudslinging. They throw the worst insults they can think of at him, calling him a Samaritan, an outcast, and saying he's demon-possessed. Then they mock him with what they think is the ultimate takedown question. Are you seriously claiming to be greater than our father Abraham, who's been dead for 2,000 years?
And you really have to see it from their point of view. They're looking at this man who's maybe in his early 30s, and he's talking as if he personally knew Abraham. To them, this isn't just wrong, it's completely insane. It's beyond blasphemy. It's madness.
And this is it. This is the moment the whole day has been building towards. Jesus' final answer. He doesn't just say he existed before Abraham. He uses the divine name, I am. That's the sacred name God gave to Moses at the burning bush. It is a direct, crystal-clear claim to be the eternal, self-existent God who exists outside of time.
And their reaction tells you they knew exactly what he was claiming. They didn't hear a metaphor. They heard the ultimate blasphemy, deserving of death. And so the day that began with them picking up stones to kill a woman ends with them picking up those same stones to kill Jesus. But in the chaos that follows, he just vanishes, leaving them, and leaving us, with the earth-shattering weight of those last two words, I am.